Good morning, guys, and listen, welcome to your market report on Bitcoin. Now, this morning, we've seen the drop that I was talking about. I said that we're going to have more buying opportunities in Bitcoin. Let's get right to the charts. Let's open the charts right here, and let's take a look at Bitcoin Wisdom. We're going to take a look at Bitstamp price. Now, yesterday, we were up here at 84.97. And on yesterday's show, I said that more buying opportunities are going to present themselves, that I believe that the price is going to come down. So what happened was last night we had this big red spike downwards, and we've had roughly about 500 or 600 bucks or even 700 bucks dropped off the price last night after yesterday's show, and I said that I'd let you guys know when I'm buying some. Well, I'll tell you what. Right now, looking back at the charts, let's go back to the 12-hour and let's take a look here. This Bitcoin, we were up to $19,666, and what we've seen is Bitcoin go into a bear market, and we've seen the first bottom, we've seen a second bottoming process, and we've seen a third bottoming process, and then we've seen a spike upwards in price. Now, what's been fueling this speculative spike upwards in price in Bitcoin is the fact that Bitcoin could possibly become an ETF. Well, they've put the decision off until sometime in September. And I'll tell you what I think about it, is I think that they are going to go ahead and make Bitcoin into an ETF in September. As we get really close to that date, there's probably going to be rumors surrounding them making it a Bitcoin ETF, and we're probably going to go back into a bull market with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. It's very likely we could. Let's put it that way, with the ETF approaching. And so, because of these reasons, this makes this market volatile to move to the upwards side at this point, even though we've seen this little bit of a drop in price. Now, coming ahead to the 15-minute, we can see this drop in price right here a little bit better that we had yesterday. And now we've been this kind of basically tumbling along. I'll tell you what I think. I think today, as just for insurance purposes, I'm not going to go out and I'm not going to buy a lot of Bitcoin, but I am going to buy a little bit of Bitcoin for insurance purposes, because I think that we're going to be moving upwards a little bit here, and in the price over the next few weeks because of the exchange traded fund. And then if the exchange traded fund comes in, which I think it will, we could see quite a large explosion in price of the cryptocurrencies in general, because we've seen a long cooling off period. And you have to understand, charting is not everything when it comes to investments. What I mean by that is, if this chart's been following, and I've been following this chart, and it's been following a classic pattern downwards, but that doesn't mean it has to that it can't go back into a bull market. If conditions are right, if something comes along to push this into a bull market, and Bitcoin going into an ETF could actually drive Bitcoin back into a bull market again. And it's because, too, we've already seen a significant downward move in price from $19,666 all the way down to 5,700 bucks. And so I'm going to buy a little bit more today, Bitcoin. Now, when I talk about buying Bitcoin, I don't buy very much. I buy like 1%, or 2% of a Bitcoin today. But I'm going to hold on to it for dear life, that little 1% or whatever, and so that's the thing, buy that little bit of a Bitcoin and hodl it. And so here's the thing. We've got a little bit of a buying opportunity presenting itself today. And let's move on to the cryptocurrency market capitalizations. And let's take a look at what else might be good out there. We've seen some significant downward moves in price. EOS down a lot, you know. Bitcoin Cash down a lot. Let's see, what else is down a lot? Litecoin's down a lot. Stellar is down a lot. Cardano is down a lot. And today what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about EOS. What is EOS? What exactly is EOS, the coin? Of course, we all know this symbol that they use. It looks like some sort of a diamond, a black diamond. Its market cap right now is $7.32 billion. It's ranked number 5 in the coins. So getting into what EOS is basically it's like Ethereum. They can do the same job as Ethereum. But it has faster transaction speeds because it uses something called parallel processing to give it faster transaction speeds, and it's more scalable. And another thing about it is EOS. Well, we're going to get into it. It's a decentralized operating system. They can build on EOS on the EOS claims. People have to reserve the coins. They have to have coins in order to build on the EOS system. And evidently, they do not burn their coins like with using Ethereum. Their coins are used as fuel. In EOS, they just have to show proof of ownership of these coins. It's not a with Ethereum, it's not a very user-friendly process to understand how to interact with the blockchain with Ethereum. With EOS, it's more of a friendly process, evidently, to be able to use the blockchain to create these smart contracts. It says EOS main competitor Ethereum demands users to pay for every transaction. EOS will not do so. This will increase adoption. So they've released a lot of these coins. They released 200 million on a distribution on a 5-day period on June 26th. 700 million were split evenly into 350 consecutive 23-hour periods of 2,000 EOS each, beginning on July 1st, 2017. So what they're saying here is that Ethereum, because now this is a competitor with Ethereum. It says Ethereum has the first mover advantage in the smart contract space. A lot of systems have been built on Ethereum, and it has proven itself to be a commercial grade blockchain. And so evidently they're trying to move into a similar space as Ethereum. In other words, this is actually a competitor with Ethereum. EOS is. And from what I understand, EOS is capable of tremendously fast transaction speeds. So EOS is actually a little bit better than Ethereum and at doing what Ethereum does. So it's got a little bit faster transaction speeds, and it's able to transact across the network. I've heard numbers of 50,000 transactions a second across the network. The capability of EOS, which puts it in line, I guess, with Visa or MasterCard. So it's quite a coin to consider. It's probably good to have a few of these. I wouldn't. I mean, they're only $8.17 per coin today. When Bitcoin explodes in price, these will probably explode in price too. In my mind, I could see these going to $50 a piece or something like that with no problems, in the future. And people still buying them snapping them up at $50 a piece, and today you can get them for $8.17. I'll tell you, probably some of the best buys in investments that people are ever going to make is their investments in cryptocurrency at this point, because where do you find good investments out there that are rock solid? You want to really invest in what they call high yield accounts when you're actually buying into, you go into the bank and they say, well, we're going to put your money into a high yield. Well, where is that money really going? What really is high yield? Do you really realize that high yield is actually junk bonds? And do you really realize that probably some of those, some of these bonds that they're actually buying are bonds from countries that are already defunct, and stuff like that? They're garbage. That's why they call them junk bonds. But these cryptocurrencies are a much more rock solid investment in my estimation than some of these them buying into some country like some South American country buying their bonds, and they're selling like 100-year bonds or whatever, and I mean it's just ridiculous, Anyway, I'm rambling a little bit. That's what EOS basically is. It's a version of like Ethereum, but it's not Ethereum. It's a little bit faster and a little bit smoother, it looks like to me, than Ethereum, but Ethereum has first mover advantage over EOS. So thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next show. Bye-bye.